Hey guys, welcome back to Criminology Help You. Today we're talking through Unit 4 1.3, this being kind of your models of criminal justice. So you have your crime control model to start off with. This is kind of the idea. Crime is a threat to people's freedom, and so must be suppressed. It prioritises catching and punishing offenders, and sort of they want to deter them from committing further crime. This is really useful for when we look at sort of methods later, and it also assumes guilt. It trusts the police quite heavily to identify offenders, believing that the police should be free from unnecessary legal technicalities, as I like to call it, like police needing a warrant, defendant having any legal aid, and the time limit for how long police can hold an individual. I'm not really sure how fair that is, but I mean, it's certainly an approach, not that I agree with. It assumes guilt, so once the individual who is probably guilty, it's a bit like what's often called a conveyor belt justice system. So it's kind of quick prosecuting, convicting, and punishing, and it's kind of just getting through stuff as quickly as possible without sort of going into the nitty gritty. However, a big issue with this: innocent people can be accidentally convicted, but this sort of right realists and functionalists who sort of favour this, they would say that it's a price worth paying for the number of guilty people convicted. Also focusing more on the rights of society and victims rather than kind of having equality or sort of any sort of defence for suspects. Again, Charles Murray, he's everywhere if you're sort of thinking about right realism, the new right, favouring zero tolerance, and also links back to Unit 2 when we were doing sociological stuff. Durkheim would say that punishing individuals can help deter people from committing crime and also helps to reinforce boundaries and also then can help strengthen social cohesion. You now have your due process model. This is kind of favoured by your lefties, so your interactionists, your left realists, as we did in the sociological side. The due process model kind of believes that the power of the state restricts people's freedom, and it also assumes innocence. So this is kind of the process that we have today, in the sense that you're innocent until proven guilty. It often criticises police incompetence and dishonesty, and that obviously you now have rules about arrest, questioning, legal representation, admissibility, and disclosure of evidence, which again we have today. Again, this is kind of known a bit as an obstacle course of justice, but this is kind of the idea to make it as difficult or quite difficult to sort of prosecute people so that someone innocent does not get prosecuted. So obviously sometimes the guilty go free under technicality, but that is a lesser evil than convicting someone innocent. But also emphasises more the rights of the accused or the suspect than that of the victim or society. As I've already said, it's kind of more kind of politically left. Interactionists would then link this to labelling theory, self-fulfilling prophecy, and all that, master status. They would say that by preventing the state from oppressing people through labels, it means that there's less chance of there being a self-fulfilling prophecy and people living up to the label and there being deviants. Leftists would also say that it allows the police to follow the due process model, and it also kind of prevents military policing within kind of impoverished areas, which is kind of where crime can often happen. In practice, it mostly works. As we know, it is mainly the kind of model that is used within our society today, but there obviously can be miscarriages of justice. Going back to Unit 2, these people are always there. They always find a way to mark you. Miscarriages of justice like Colin Stagg or Sally Clark. And that is it for 1.3.